Hey, good morning. Happy Friday. I know you love it when I say that. It's cheesy. I know you look forward to be saying it every week. Woo, that's hot. Good morning. Hey, Lena. Hey, Mallory. All right, let me get myself situated. I got my sexy pants on. Going all out with the pajamas today. Someday it's raining. It's chilly and raining, and to me that just requires pajamas all day. Good morning, Marilyn. Hey, Faith. Hey, Laura. Hey, Sherry. All right. What day are we on? March 25th. Israel defeats the southern kings. Joshua 10, 1 through 15. Adonai-Zedek, king of Jerusalem, heard that Joshua had captured and completely destroyed Ai and had killed its king, just as he had destroyed the town of Jericho and killed its king. He also learned that the Gibeonites had made peace with Israel and were now their allies. He and his people became very afraid when they heard all of this, because Gibeon was a large town, as large as the royal cities and larger than Ai, and the Gibeonite men were strong warriors. So King Adonai-Zedek of Jerusalem sent messengers to several other kings, Hoham of Hebron, Piram of Jarmuth, Japhia of Lachish, and Deber of Eglon. Come and help me destroy Gibeon, he urged them, for they have made peace with Joshua and the people of Israel. So these 5 Amorite kings combined their armies for a united attack. They moved all their troops into place and attacked Gibeon. The men of Gibeon quickly sent messengers to Joshua at his camp in Gilgal. Don't abandon your servants now, they pleaded. Come at once, save us, help us, for all the Amorite kings who live in the hill country have joined forces to attack us. So Joshua and his entire army, including his best warriors, left Gilgal and set out for Gibeon. Do not be afraid of them, the Lord said to Joshua, for I have given you victory over them. Not a single one of them will be able to stand up to you. Joshua traveled all night from Gilgal and took the Amorite armies by surprise. The Lord threw them into a panic, and the Israelites slaughtered great numbers of them at Gibeon. Then the Israelites chased the enemy along the road to Beth-horon, killing them all along the way to Azekah and Makkedah. As the Amorites retreated down the road from Beth-horon, the Lord destroyed them with a terrible hailstorm from heaven that continued until they reached Azekah. The hail killed more of the enemy than the Israelites killed with the sword. On the day the Lord gave the Israelites victory over the Amorites, Joshua prayed to the Lord in front of all the people of Israel. He said, "Let the sun stand still over Gibeon, and the moon over the valley of Ajalon." So the sun stood still, and the moon stayed in place until the nation of Israel had defeated its enemies. Is this event not recorded in the book of Jasher? The sun stayed in the middle of the sky, and it did not set as on a normal day. There has never been a day like this one before or since, when the Lord answered such a prayer. Surely the Lord fought for Israel that day. Then Joshua and the Israelite army returned to their camp at Gilgal. Joshua kills the 5 southern kings. Joshua 10, 16 through 27. During the battle, the 5 kings escaped and hid in a cave at Makkedah. When Joshua heard that they had been found, he issued this command: cover the opening of the cave with large rocks, and place guards at the entrance to keep the kings inside. The rest of you continue chasing the enemy and cut them down from the rear. Don't give them a chance to get back to their towns, for the Lord your God has given you victory over them. So Joshua and the Israelite army continued the slaughter and completely crushed the enemy. They totally wiped out the 5 armies, except for a tiny remnant that managed to reach their fortified towns. Then the Israelites returned safely to Joshua in the camp at Makkedah. After that, no one dared speak even a word against Israel. Then Joshua said, "Remove the rocks covering the opening of the cave, and bring the 5 kings to me." So they brought the 5 kings out of the cave, the kings of Jerusalem, Hebron, Jarmuth, Lachish, and Eglon. When they brought them out, Joshua told the commander of his army, "Come and put your feet on the king's neck." As they did, they did as they were told. "Don't ever be afraid or discouraged," Joshua told his men. "Be strong and courageous, for the Lord is going to do all of this to your enemies. Then Joshua killed each of the 5 kings and impaled them on 5 sharpened poles, where they hung until evening. As the sun was going down, Joshua gave instruction for the bodies of the kings to be taken down from the poles and thrown into the caves where they had been hiding. Then they covered the opening of the cave with a pile of large rocks, which remains to this very day. Israel destroys the southern cities. Joshua 10:28 through 43. That same day, Joshua captured and destroyed the town of Makkedah. He killed everyone in it, including the king, leaving no survivors. He destroyed them all, and he killed the king of Makkedah as he killed the king of Jericho. Then Joshua and the Israelites went to Libnah and attacked it. There, too, the Lord gave them the town and its king. He killed everyone living in it, leaving no survivors. Then Joshua killed the king of Libnah as he had killed the king of Jericho. From Libnah, Joshua and the Israelites went to Lachish and attacked it. Here again, the Lord gave them Lachish. Joshua took it on the 2nd day and killed everyone in it, just as he had done at Libnah. During the attack on Lachish, King Horam of Gezer arrived with his army to help defend the town. But Joshua's men killed him and his army, leaving no survivors. Then Joshua and the Israelite army went on to Eglon and attacked it. They captured it that day and killed everyone in it. He completely destroyed everyone, just as he had done at Lachish. From Eglon, Joshua and the Israelite army went up to Hebron and attacked it. They captured the town and killed everyone in it, including its king, leaving no survivors. They did the same thing to all of its surrounding villages, and just as he had done at Eglon, he completely destroyed the entire population. Then Joshua and the Israelites turned back and attacked Debir. He captured the town, its kings, and all of its surrounding villages. He completely destroyed everyone in it, leaving no survivors. He did to Debir and its kings just what he had done to Hebron and Libnah, its king. So Joshua conquered the whole region, the kings and the people of the hill country, the Negev, the western foothills, and the mountain slopes. He completely destroyed everyone in the land, leaving no survivors, just as the Lord God of Israel had commanded. Joshua slaughtered them from Kadesh Barnea to Gaza, and from the region around the town of Goshen up to Gibeon. Joshua conquered all these kings and their land in a single campaign, for the Lord, the God of Israel, was fighting for his people. Then Joshua and the Israelite army returned to their camp at Gilgal. Israel defeats the northern kings. Joshua 11:1 through 23. When King Jabin of Hazor learned what had happened, he sent messages to the following kings: King Jobab of Madon, the king of Shimron, the king of Akshaph, that's a hard one to pronounce, Akshaph, all the kings of the northern hill country, the king of the Jordan Valley south of Galilee, the kings of the Galilean foothills, and the kings of Naphoth Dor on the west, the kings of Canaan both east and west, the kings of the Amorites, the Hittites, the Perizzites, the Jebusites in the hill country, and the Hivites in the towns on the slopes of Mount Hermon in the land of Mizpah. All these kings came out to fight. Their combined armies formed a vast horde, and with all of their horses and chariots, they covered the landscape like the sand on the seashore. The kings joined forces and established their camp around the water near Merom to fight against Israel. Then the Lord said to Joshua, "Do not be afraid of them. By this time tomorrow I will hand all of them over to Israel as dead men. Then you must cripple their horses and burn their chariots." So Joshua and all of his fighting men traveled to the water near Merom and attacked suddenly, and the Lord gave them victory over their enemies. The Israelites chased them as far as Greater Sidon and Misrephoth-Maim, and eastward into the valley of Mizpah, until not one enemy warrior was left alive. Then Joshua crippled the horses and burned all the chariots, as the Lord had instructed. Joshua then turned back and captured Hazor and killed its king. Hazor had at one time been in the capital of all these kingdoms. The Israelites completely destroyed every living thing in the city, leaving no survivors. Not a single person was spared, and then Joshua burned the city. Joshua slaughtered all the other kings and their people, completely destroying them, just as Moses, the servant of the Lord, had commanded. But the Israelites did not burn any of the towns built on mounds, except Hazor, which Joshua burned. And the Israelites took all the plunder and livestock of the ravaged towns for themselves, but they killed all the people, leaving no survivors. As the Lord had commanded his servant Moses, so Moses commanded Joshua, and Joshua did as he was told, carefully obeying all the commands that the Lord had given to Moses. So Joshua conquered the entire region, the hill country, the entire Negev, the whole area around the town of Goshen, the western foothills, the Jordan Valley, the mountains of Israel, and the Galilean foothills. The Israelites' territory now extended all the way from Mount Halak, which leads up to Mount Seir in the south, and as far north as Baal Gad at the foot of Mount Hermon in the valley of Lebanon. Joshua killed all the kings of those territories, waging war for a long time to accomplish this. No one in the region made peace with the Israelites except the Hivites of Gibeon. All the others were defeated, for the Lord hardened their hearts and caused them to fight the Israelites. So they were completely destroyed without mercy, as the Lord had commanded Moses. During this period, Joshua destroyed all the descendants of Anak, who lived in the hill country of Hebron, Debir, Anab, and the entire hill country of Judah and Israel. He killed them all and completely destroyed their towns. None of the descendants of Anak were left in the land of Israel, though some still remained in Gaza, Gath, and Ashdod. So Joshua took control of the entire land, just as the Lord had instructed Moses. He gave it to the people of Israel as their special possession, dividing the land among the tribes, so the land finally had rest from war. Kings defeated east of the Jordan, Joshua 12, 1-6. These are the kings east of the Jordan who had been killed by the Israelites and whose land was taken. Their territory extended from the Arnon Gorge to Mount Hermon and included all the land east of the Jordan Valley. King Sihon of the Amorites, who lived in Heshbon, was defeated. His kingdom, including Arior on the edge of the Arnon Gorge, and extended from the middle of the Arnon Gorge to the Jabbok River, which serves as a border for the Ammonites. This territory included the southern half of the territory of Gilead. Sihon also controlled the Jordan Valley and the regions to the east, as Sihon also controlled the Jordan Valley and the regions to the east, from as far north as the Sea of Galilee to as far south as the Dead Sea, including the road to Beth Jeshimoth, and southward to the slopes of Pisgah. King Og of Bashan, the last of the Rephaites, lived in Ashtaroth and Edrei. He ruled a territory stretching from Mount Hermon to Salakah in the north, and to all of Bashan in the east, and westward to the borders of the kingdoms of Geshur and Makkah. This territory included the northern half of Gilead, as far as the boundary of King Sihon of Heshbon. Moses, the servant of the Lord, and the Israelites had destroyed the people, the king of Sihon and King Og, and Moses gave their land as possession to the tribes of Reuben, Gad, and the half-tribe of Manasseh. Okay, there's that reading. Let's do Trim Healthy Mama, 100 Days of Inspiration. We are on day 84. Knock over that coffee pot on my head. I won't feel too good. A specific mission. Not only does God give us the privilege of calling upon his name, but he calls us by his name. Daniel 9:19 says, "Thy people are called by thy name." Isaiah 45:4 says, "I have even called thee by thy name. I have surnamed thee." To think that we are to be known by the most reverent and holy name of God. This fact should influence our lives in everything we do and say. However, it is not enough for us to know this fact. People should see it. God wants to reveal his image in us so that all the people of earth shall see that thou art called by my name, that thou art called by the name of the Lord, and they shall be afraid of thee. Deuteronomy 28:10. Just think of the impact of God's people upon the nation if they could truly see that the name of the Lord was stamped upon us. God gives us a specific mission to those who are called by his name, as in 2 Chronicles 7:14. If my people who are called by my name shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land. We who are called by his name are to be interceders for the nation. We are responsible to pray for the saving of our nation. If we don't take up this mantle, can we really confess that we are called by his name? I think that is something most of us, or I don't know about most of us, but a lot of us don't do daily. I struggle to remember. It's not that I struggle to remember, it's that I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I pray for our country. But do I make that my first priority? Probably not. And I probably should. We all should. It's called right out that we should. Not over yet. Every chapter of life has been designed by God and is worthy to be lived to its fullest. Our mother is 73 years old. She still has dreams and goals and has not surrendered to the stigma of age. Still power walks up hills and is stronger and fitter than many 20-year-olds. But our mother is not trying to pretend to be 30 or even find the fountain of youth. She just wants to live year 74 to its fullest. Her eyes sparkle with humor and life. The decade ahead of her is uncharted territory that she does not fear, but her trust is in God. Proverbs 31:25 reminds us that strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. Writing your story. After I listened to an inspiring author teach ways to write fiction stories, I asked him if he had any advice for nonfiction writers. He suggested I could make fiction more interesting by adding nonfiction. I assume he meant metaphors. That was already one of my main methods, but it felt good to hear an author encourage what I was already doing. He also admitted that writing nonfiction can be hard. I immediately agreed without pausing to think about it. I've experienced how hard it can be. It was the last piece of advice that allowed me to walk away with the satisfying feeling of learning something. Pray, he said, every night. I would get on my knees and pray to God to help me. Pray, of course. How can I teach wisdom when the only person I depend on is myself? Am I wise? No, only He is wise, and I can't do this without His wisdom to guide me. I need to remind myself more often to pray about all areas of life, not just for writing. That's a good one. That is a good one. That's the most powerful weapon we have is the power of prayer, and we don't wield it nearly as much as we should. I speak for myself. The dog thinks he's getting peanut butter. You're not getting peanut butter at 7 in the morning. It's not happening. It's not happening, buddy. No peanut butter. Nope. I'm sorry, no peanut butter. No peanut butter. And off he goes. He's not happy with me. He just stopped and turned around and looked at me like, how dare you? How dare you mock me? I'm not giving him peanut butter. No. He's too fat, Tracy. He's chubby. And he's on a diet. He only gets peanut butter a couple times a week. Right? Right. Because he's trying to lose weight. If I had a sad face, would somebody stuff Doritos in my face? Easy, Grammy Dula. I say no. He's got weight issues. That's why his leg was busted. That's why he needed a $3,600 surgery. Okay? Because he had too much peanut butter. That is why. I should make him some fuel. I should, Mallory, make him some Fuel Pull peanut butter. That's better. This is more fun. He gets this dog. He brings it on my lap, and it's slimy. All right, slimy. That's right. Bentley needs a diet. I often give him pumpkin. He likes pumpkin too, but I only have great big huge cans, so I do give him pumpkin because that's lower fat. I try to give him healthy choices. He doesn't need snacky snacks all the time. He said as many fruits and veggies as he wants, so I need to get him some bananas. He does like banana. What's that sound? This is a helicopter. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me for devotions this morning. There's the good. I am going to... Actually, Mallory, now that you say that, I think I have some frozen portions in the freezer. Tracy. She thinks I'm mean to my dog. My dog has lost like 11 pounds. I know how to put a dog on a diet. All right. For breakfast this morning, I'm having quinoa. And I do not know. I had written down that I would make a savory skillet, but I'm not feeling super savory this morning. So I don't know what I'm going to have. I'm going to have some kind of sweet quinoa, but what kind? I'm not entirely sure. Sweatpants quinoa sounds good, but I just made that last week. Y'all seen sweatpants quinoa a million times. So I don't know. I could crumble up one of those chocolate donuts in it that are over there. Just kidding. I don't know. I'll figure it out when I go live at some point. I may have sweatpants oatmeal, and you may have to just see me do it again. Because I can't get enough sweatpants quinoa. I mean, I'm not having oatmeal. Bleh, I'd rather have quinoa. All right, you guys, I love you all. Thanks for joining me this morning. I'll be live in a few minutes for breakfast. I don't know. Quinoa something. Ooh, good idea, Faith. I could add cauliflower to it. I could make sweatpants quinoa with a bunch of cauli. I need to go get some cauli out of my freezer and stick it in the microwave. Good idea, Faith. Way to get that veg in. That's what I'll do. I'll have cauliflower quinoa. All right, you guys. I love you all. If you don't join me for breakfast, that's okay. I guess. Just kidding. I'll see you all tomorrow for more. It's too early for the dog to get a snack, Mallory. He just had breakfast. He'll be all right, you guys. You all think I'm a mean dog mom. I'll see you for breakfast in